Check this out. Again, we already had Steve Kerr. You didn't like it when he says it's not a championship team. We're maxed out. All right. Here's Draymond. Asked if the team was maxed out on what they could do.
I think this group definitely maxed out what we could do. It wasn't a championship team. We didn't win it. So, sucks. But that's our reality. That doesn't mean our core changes. That doesn't mean our core can't do it again. They said we couldn't do it again last year. We did it. They said we missed the playoffs this year. We did it. But guess what? We don't do moral victory, so we lost. And this was not a championship group as it stands. But we have champions, and we're made up of champions. And when you are a champion, when you have that mindset, you just go back to the drawing board, retool, refigure it out, and go do it again. And that's what'll be our focus. But it wasn't a championship group. As we can see, we're sitting here and the season's over. So we'll figure it out. This group was maxed. We got what we could get out of it. But this thing isn't maxed. And so we'll get more out of that.
This thing is not maxed.
It's both brilliant and maddening at the same time, I know, for fans. Because you're like, wait a minute. This thing is maxed, but this thing is not maxed. And we are champions, but we are not champions. It's like, wait a minute. What? But it's in an odd way, I get what he's saying.
This is part of the problem. You don't sit there and be like, yeah, hey, man, this radio station's doing great. And then
it is, by the way.
But just name like two guys. It's like, hey, man, we're doing great. I don't know about those guys.
Yeah.
You notice that, like, when Matt has a meeting, he doesn't have like a meeting with like 60% of the station, and then like 40% of the station just finds out later, right? It's like, you guys really matter. These other guys are on the team, but they don't really matter that much.
I mean,
I don't think that's a good management style.
It's not a good management style, but I find there to be messaging in this. And I actually think what they did was pretty smart for a number of reasons. I think we're all taking it as this authentic, like, that's just how they answered it. I think they came to the podium with those answers. This is the Golden State Warriors. They know what they're going to say before they say it. They know what you're about to ask them, and they've got their answers prepared. And it does become a little bit of a catch-all when you say, this is not a championship team. It sort of sets the expectation for what's going to happen next. If you're Steph, Clay, and Dre, you don't need to convince everyone that you're a champion. You already are. So we know that. That's established. It's their way of managing the expectation of the aftermath, but also letting you know there are intricacies to this roster that don't work, and we're about to go fix them. So when you 1-2 punch with they're working on an extension for Draymond, he says he wants to be a Warrior for life, ride or die, and, oh, by the way, it's not a championship roster. They're signaling to you what they're about to do. They're telling you what the problem is. We've all done it all year long. What's the problem? They're telling you.
Yeah, but it's a little too over the top of absolving the guys who have the rings of any blame. It's not, you guys are still awesome, man. You guys are still champions. We're not champions because of these other guys over here who are not they're not even in your ballpark. They're not even, and that's just kind of garbage.
Played though, like
I know, but it's not really true.
But did you listen to Embiid last night? Now, I thought you want to talk about people who do not like the internet because things get cut and packaged a certain way. I thought Embiid got sold down the damn river by the entire media last night because he was made to look like a big old jerk for just being like, well, I'm amazing and my teammates stink, which is not what he said at all if you listen to the entire press conference. That said, part of the reason everybody reacted so poorly is because he's never won. It's because he's never won. Watch what happens when Giannis comes up. It's not a failure. And everyone's like, well, we kind of want to call it a failure, but you're Giannis and you've won, so Them's the rules, man. You know how it works. If you've got rings on your fingers, you get to say stuff like this.
I hear you, but it's to me, this is part of the problem with the Warriors is that they have Kuminga makes a mistake, 5-alarm fire. Klay Thompson makes the same mistake, no big deal, bro. You can't have two standards for your team that's that dramatic and have great chemistry. I don't think there was great chemistry on the Warriors as the season went on. I don't know. I didn't sense great chemistry on their bench from their coaches or from their players. I sense two different groups. I sense the group that's one that is given every excuse and everything they want. They basically, hey, Andre did absolutely jack, and who cares? He's so key to our valuable development and this and that. But your players didn't develop. It doesn't matter. Andre's still awesome. Klay shot you out of it in Game 6. It doesn't matter. Klay's awesome. Look at the regular season he had. We love Klay, Klay. All right, but he shot 3 of 19 and shot you out of it in Game 6 and really, was hunting bad shots. It doesn't matter. He's Klay. Klay can be Klay. Steph can be Steph. Draymond can be Draymond. Andre can be Andre. But, man, Kuminga has a bad 2-minute run. Sit the hell down. If you're a young guy and you're not wearing rings, suddenly there's different standards. I point this out because these were the field goal. This is the second round stats. Field goal percentage. Steph Curry shot 43.9%. And Steph was awesome, but the rest of the team let him down. Oh, really? The rest of the team shot 44.2%.
What's his assist total, though?
Okay, but that was on field goal percentage.
Okay.
On 3-point percentage, Steph in the Lakers series shot 34%. But he carried them. The rest of the team shot 36%. So I'm just saying, it's like,
it wasn't a great series for Steph, but you are leaving some out because his assist totals were very, very high,
right?
Because of the way they tried to approach and adjust the offense to the Lakers' size.
But my point is just that you're a team. You win and lose as a team, and to me, this team was never a team. They were two teams. They were the team that's won it, that is going to be given all kinds of second and third and fourth chances, and excuses will be created if they fail. And then you got the youngsters who you haven't accomplished jack. And wait a second, you have 3 bad minutes, Kuminga? Sit the hell down. You're not playing anymore. I don't care if you were playing 32 minutes a game and we were winning with you. You don't. This is a new level and you can't reach it, so you're banished. And I personally, I didn't think the 49ers. I didn't think the Warriors had the ability to. They weren't deep enough or good enough to banish Jonathan Kuminga and still win. So they banished him. He did nothing, and they lost.
Right, but what leads to the banishment? Like, do you want to know what, for me, this is, when I walk away from the season, this is a massive key, okay? Poole, Kuminga, and Moody. Like, Wiseman got traded, so it ends up not mattering. But Poole, Kuminga, and Moody all ended up at different times this year being frustrated with their role. True or false?
Yeah.
Okay. How did each of them react to that? That's the key. Moses Moody went public and went, look, I left Arkansas so that I could learn here in the NBA, and I had some things to learn. And then the playoffs came, shot upward. Kuminga and Poole, what do? Kuminga sulks. Poole shoves Draymond's arms off of him. Get out of my way. His body language is getting called out by Stan Van Gundy in a national broadcast. To me, adversity.
Poole pouted.
Yes, your success in life is all about how you approach adversity. Who are you in those moments? Moses Moody shined. Jonathan Kuminga and Jordan Poole pouted. One of them got better in the playoffs. The other two got worse. I don't think that that's a very hard mathematical equation. So, did the Warriors make mistakes in the development? Should they have done this, that, or the other? Maybe. But when you get that lemon, are you going to make lemonade or are you going to pout? I give Moody a ton of credit. He gets credit for how he handled the adversity. Poole and Kuminga don't. So, yeah, maybe the team made some mistakes. But Poole and Kuminga probably could have turned the tables back in their direction if they knew how to react to the adversity that they were facing.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I don't know how they brought Jonathan along, and I don't know what was communicated to him. To me, it's just unbelievable that a guy who's 6'9", with his physical gifts could not, and when it was so obvious they needed help on the glass, and they couldn't say to him, Jonathan, we don't care if you score, we don't care if you shoot, we don't care if you finish, we don't care about anything other than rebound.
I think they did say it to him.
Why do you think that?
Because he is literally was asked after the game on Friday night, what do you need to do better? And he said, I need to mimic my game after Kevon Looney and start rebounding better. He didn't come up with that on his own.
Okay, but where was that? We had no indication of that. There was no indication of that.
Because he's standing there watching balls bounce his way and watching the other team go get him.
I mean, it was.
I don't know what you know.
I don't know what was said to him or not said to him, but I will say this: he was on the weak side at least 2 or 3 times in these playoffs. The ball went up on the other side of the floor. He's literally got no bodies between him and the rim. And he made no movement to rebound.
I'm gonna blame
that.
I'm blaming the player.
Is that the player? Is that the player, or was that not emphasized?
Bro, I never played past high school, and my nickname was Floorburn. You didn't need to tell me to go get the ball. Go get the ball. This is Kuminga in his exit interview after the season ended, and he was asked, "What's the team's message to you?" I'll play it after I let you know that you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on Twitch, YouTube, and the free Odyssey app.
Have you had your exit interview meeting with the organization at this point?
I literally just had a couple minutes ago.
What message did the organization have for you in that meeting?
They're just happy with the way I have grew. Pretty much just they want me to keep adding on what I did this year, keep learning the game, and just growing more, figuring out how I could impact even way more on winning. And I think that's what's been my goal, to just figure out I could impact and on winning.
I mean, they're talking to him about all the stuff that you don't see. We all know he can fly and that he needs to work on his shot, but it's there, kind of, sometimes. We know what Kuminga can do.
I mean, they should have emphasized his rebounding throughout, but we got nothing out of that said it was.
No, he's after the game. We don't have it in front of me, but after the game, and I'll read them to you if we don't have the actual sound, he literally said rebounding.
But that came out of his exit interview. I gotta think they said that to him.
That was the exit interview. The other one was right after the game on Friday night. He said, I need to rebound better.
Yeah.
I want to pattern my game after Kevon Looney.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely does need to rebound better. I mean, it's just not. If you say that rebound is a natural instinct, it's an instinct that right now he doesn't have.
Yeah.